How to check if a string is palindrome. First, what palindrome means is that if you spell the same word backwards, it will produce the same word basically. So this word, if we say it backwards, if we write it from the end to the start, it's the same word. And that's what palindrome is or means. And now if we have a function, if we create a function called isPalindrome, and then we pass in the word or a phrase, whatever, and we pass it as a string. And then we need to have a check somewhere here that how is the word spelled backwards. And so if we write reversed word and we access the word string, and then if we do it this way and then -1, and then we print the reverse word, we should get it. We should get how it is spelled backwards. And now when we call the function, we should see how the word is spelled backwards. And as you can see, it has produced for us how the word is spelled backwards after we run the program here. And now we should check if that word equals, if that reversed word equals the word that we passed in. If they are both equal each other, then we return true. Else, you don't need an else statement. You can just return false, because whatever happens here, if it is actually true, it will return true. Otherwise, it will return false. So we don't really need an else in this case. And now when we print whatever is returned from that function, we will see that it should work now because it returned true. And if we pass in another string, like whatever string possible, just ABC, which obviously is not a palindrome word, and it should return false. And to make it even easier or shorter to write, you can just return without writing if or whatever. You can just write return reverse word equals and then word, and now you'll get the same output. If we run the program now, it's false, and if we pass in the level variable, we should see true. And to make it even shorter, you can just remove the whole variable and write it here, and then now you have just one line function return if you really care about this stuff, but it's not that important. And now we have seen that when we run the app, it's the same thing happens. We get true, and if we pass in another word that is not a palindrome, we get false. To make the function more documented, you can write that it returns a boolean. Okay, what if we have a phrase, longer phrase, when we have spaces between the words? Do you think it would work? Nope, it will not work. Why? Well, if we print the reversed word, we can see how it looks like for you to understand what's actually happening behind the scenes. You can see that we have a space here, and we have space right here, and we have space anywhere. So although it's the same word, but we should remove the spaces when we compare words like this. And so to get the right word, the right format of the word, we should remove the spaces from both of them. So if we have a space, we can just write it this way. We write a dot replace function, and then we replace the space with nothing. So now we get the raw word without any spaces. And now we get a true because we have removed the spaces and we are comparing them without any space, which makes more sense. And you would do the same with commas, with colons, or whatever. Yeah, and this is how you do it if you have a longer phrase and it has spaces or stuff between the words, maybe new lines.